So welcome back everybody, I'm Crypto Nobes. In today's video I'm going to be talking about the stock to flow model. If you've watched any of my previous videos you will see that I talk about this quite a lot, and this is one of the main reasons why I'm bullish on majority of the crypto market as well as Bitcoin. It is just a predicted model, but I want to give you guys more of an insight as to who created this model and a bit about him. So with that, let's jump straight into the video. I just want to quickly explain a little bit about Plan B, $100 trillion USD. He worked in multiple institutions. He has a degree in economics and law, and he also worked for banks, and he worked with pension sheets. He basically is a very, very respected and has a very good CV basically. Let me just show you this quick. Two clips that I want to show you guys that will quickly explain what this is, what the stock to flow is, and why it's such an effective measurement tool.
I am an old gold bug before I was in Bitcoin, and so I knew about stock to flow as a ratio of the amount of gold that's there above ground right now and the amount that's produced every year, and in gold that's 60. Around 60, so there's 60 years of production above ground, and that's really high because for all the other assets, silver, palladium, platinum, it's really low, even close to 1. So not very much stock. I was reading Severin Amus's book, The Bitcoin Standard, and that, he is talking about stock to flow as well, but then in a Bitcoin context. So that made the click for me, like, hey, I could use the stock to flow concept. That's a familiar thing in the gold community. I can use that for Bitcoin as well, and let's see how that calculates. So I made the model and calculated stock to flow for Bitcoin over the last years, and sort of correlated that, plotted that first against the price. And that was this very nice straight line in the logarithmic space. So yeah, from there it was a small step to go to the formula that is familiar now, and that's the stock to flow model that came out of there. And that is actually the first time I had some anchor, some fundamental statistical model that I could rely on to say something intelligent about the price. And I was very happy that this model was verified by others, by many others, I might say, and especially the addition of co-integration that Nick from Australia did was crucial, because I talked about co-integration in very different terms, because I noticed from the model that every year the price.
I'm going to show you guys what coin integration is, and he goes into a bit more detail later on in the podcast. I do want to, if you guys do want to watch this podcast, it is by Anthony Pompliano. He is a very well respected person in the crypto space. Check out his podcast. He does some really good podcasts. And he gets some very, very well respected people. He doesn't get scam people on or anybody that's a waste of time. He gets people that are very, very well respected in the space. Now, I want to go back to that podcast in a minute, and I want to just show you this this quickly. Now, this is the actual live stock to flow. This is what I always go on. Now, the next halving is to be estimated on the 11th of May. Now, here's the thing, this is why it's so respected, is because it has been somewhat accurate. Now with you have the blue lines and you have the purple lines. Now, as he said, it's always finishing higher or above it. Every time the lows finish, it always finishes higher or above what the predicted model is. Now, at the minute, we are slightly down. But here's the thing, we are still technically in it, because here it was above it, so that could mean that it didn't match it. Here's below, there's a few times it went below, there it went below, and here's the thing, it's just how it recovers. This is why at the minute this model is being massively respected is because it is very, very accurate so far. And I want to show you some of his work. He always brings out really good tweets as well, and really really detailed stuff about Bitcoin and the stock flow. It isn't just something that he came up randomly. It is really accurate. Now, this is one thing about Bitcoin stock to flow. The important thing is the stock to flow sec is determined by fixed in code, but the fact that BTC price, demand and supply tracks stock to flow like clockwork, i.e. the coin gradation, why, scarcity, networks, effects, holders, QE, time will tell. Now, this is big. There's 50 days to go, and we're going to see whether or not this is actually true. I feel like for 2-3 years now, a lot of us have been waiting for this moment to see what actually happens. After the Bitcoin halving, I feel like it could. There's every possibility with currently what is happening in the financial system and with the world, with coronavirus and stuff like that. There is a lot of panic going on. Now, will people turn and look for a safer haven? Only time will tell. That's literally the only thing that will tell. I want to show you guys this other clip quickly, and he basically explains what coin integration is, and hopefully you guys will get a bit more understanding.
Integration. Co-integration is the difference between two trending series, and if so, for example, the stock to flow model has this step function that we all know, and Bitcoin is moving around that, but it stays very close to the model value. And what you do is you analyze the difference between the model value and the actual Bitcoin value. And if that difference is stationary, which means it is sort of it's normally this. Actually, if you look at the residuals of the stock to flow model, it's a normal, very nice normal distribution of the errors of the residuals. And so yeah, they stay together, and that's what it is. The popular story that goes with it is the story of the drunk and the dog. So the drunk is walking in a random way because he's drunk, and his dog is also walking in a random way, but they're connected with a leash. So the difference between, although they're both walking a random walk, if you will, the difference between the drunk and the dog is stationary. Is sometimes high, sometimes small, but it there's a relation in so they are co-integrated. And how do you calculate it? You need a special statistic package for that. So that could be R or Stata or eViews, and but you can also do it in Excel if you know what to do. And
now I wanted to show you guys that because he is very, very detailed with what he talks about, and it is a bit hard to understand, but if you guys look into it more and you guys study it more, it does start to make a lot more sense. Basically, when you follow up what he says, you don't just listen to him, and you follow up you fact check him. Basically, you make sure he's talking sense. And this is the thing, this is why he's had so much respect at the minute. I have actually spoke to him a couple of times on Twitter. So he's not just somebody that I feel like is just desperate for fame or just for that a bit of attention, because on my main account, the account that I use, I have a measly 100 followers, and he still replied to me twice, both times I messaged him. So he is a very nice guy. I think he is just trying to get the word out there, and I feel like that's he explains one of the reasons why he brought this out to everyone. But yeah, guys, this is something that I use in majority of my videos, and this is why I think it's massive, because if you guys do not believe in Bitcoin, that's fair enough. But if you believe in the stock to flow model, which represents Bitcoin, if Bitcoin does follow 100k or goes up higher than any other cryptocurrency you are vested in, I almost guarantee will follow. Bearing in mind, it has to be a legitimate, and it has to be able to prove itself to the rest of the world. if you guys taken any value from this video, or you've learned anything, or you feel like you've made a bit of more of an understanding what the stock to flow is, if you guys have any questions or any feedback for me, or any suggestions of what video you'd like me to do, it would always be greatly appreciated. Any like or subscribe always helps as well. I've been Crypto Nobes, guys. Thank you for watching. Peace.